Welcome back to the 50 State Cold Case Spotlight, and today we are in Alabama for day number 4, and today I will be spotlighting the case of Acie and Carolyn Worthy. Acie was a World War II veteran and known as a giving, kind man who carried large sums of cash. Carolyn, 55, was the director of a choir at her church and wore extravagant jewelry, around $50,000 at worth at times, and was known to wear expensive furs. The couple drove matching Lincoln white town cars. To say that the couple was well known for their wealth would be an understatement. However, the Worthy's wealth would not be the motive that criminal profilers would later suggest, but they, along with investigators, believed that there was a much more sinister motive to their murder. Investigators would come to discover that they stumbled on a case much more complex than homicide driven by greed, and many events that led investigators to believe that someone was targeting the Worthys. In May of 1988, Carolyn would be returning home from a Wednesday night service at the church when a masked gunman would confront her. Carolyn would tell investigators that after a brief standoff, she was able to escape and filed an attempted robbery report with the police. Later in that same month of May, two girls riding a motorcycle would see a man outside of the Worthy home wearing camouflage and holding a scope as if he was watching their house. This unknown man would leave the area when he caught sight of the girls, and the girls would report this incident to police. A little over a year later, in June of 1989, the Worthy home was under construction when a fire was set to the home. Investigators never made any arrests in that arson case. And then just 4 months later, on October 16th of 1989, a house the Worthys were renting in Tuscaloosa off of Alabama Highway 216 was set ablaze and burned to the ground. Investigators would discover Acie and Carolyn's bodies. They had been killed execution style. Investigators believe that they were shot outside of the rental home and then dragged inside the home. An x-ray done during the autopsy shows that the couple had been shot multiple times. Investigators then discover that only a few things of value are missing from the home, but many more were left behind, suggesting to investigators and criminal profilers that this was a serial-type murderer who enjoyed the kill. As investigators are searching for suspects in Tuscaloosa County, they would be contacted by investigators out of Florida working a case that felt very similar to what Tuscaloosa investigators were dealing with. While they won't release the evidence that does tie both of these cases together, they did state that they do have evidence that positively links the two crimes together. Florida investigators would share with Tuscaloosa investigators that 9 months earlier, a couple in Florida, Robert and Catherine McRae, were also shot execution style in a similar home-type invasion. 2 masks were recovered at the home, leading investigators to believe that there were 2 killers involved. Investigators and profilers believe that the Worthys' deaths were planned and executed by a murder-for-hire arrangement. During the investigation, at one point, they did have a murder-for-hire suspect in a case in Louisiana and California, but they believe that the